All right, how we doing out there? Usually I don't do streams this late, but since I have an extremely busy day tomorrow, I thought I'd get this one out in the open really quick. Now, I want you to look at my screen here real quick because those of you who didn't get a chance to watch me paint the screen, and I actually painted the screen in live on camera, I'll post at the bottom of the comment section. Now, as I said before, you know, some people it's hard for them to understand that a black screen like ours can produce such a high white level. And the only way they can pretty much try to get around that is to try to denounce the screen as gray. Now, keep in mind, our contract is for black technology, not gray, but black. And in order for this company to give us a contract, which is now officially signed today, it's my contract already signed and ready to go. In order for us to get that contract, they would have to test our product, which means they would know the difference if the screen was black or gray. Because they would say, "Hey, Ken, we got to have a talk here. We can't give you a contract because your screen is not gray. It's not black. It's gray." So I would never have a contract here already signed if this company didn't test my product. And keep in mind, when they tested my product, they didn't test it in their facility. They took it to a job site. And I'll show you the pictures of the church they did with our screen, the before and after pictures, to get the reaction from other people to see how they would react to the technology. And that's the reason why we ended up with the contract, because the people who reacted, the pastor of that church, loved the screen. Now, I don't really feed into this stuff and I don't care. Like I said, because we're contracted, I don't even care. But I'm explaining something to you. Mr. Partey, please, my man, you're not on this level. Now, this is an individual who wants to basically debunk our product, much like Crow. And they want to show you that I know how to make a smoke. Dude, you're not even close. Smokes are 10%, and you're not even close on what the technology even looks like. Okay, so let me show you. This is a smoke up close. That's the color of a smoke up close. They don't have a film attached to the back of them, as you showed in your demonstration. This must be a film, or it must be some kind of strange mixture. No, smokes are a little different than what you are used to seeing. This is technology that's not in your category. It's not. Okay? Now, let me explain. Let me show you something here. Now, this is one of the videos he's broadcasting. And I don't care. Like I said, I don't care because we're contracted. I'm going to make 100,000 gallons of paint a week regardless because it's in my contract to do so. So it doesn't make a difference to me. But I want to show you this. This is how far some people will extend themselves to just to get a little bit of credibility. And this is what they need to do. But I'm going to show you this. I find it's hilarious because it's nowhere near the smoke. So when we displayed the smoke, we never showed the screen up close. We showed it from a distance. The reason why we do this is because individuals such like this will try to come in and mimic the technology. Then later on, we will show you the technology up close, and it shows no difference to what they're trying to display, and it makes them look like idiots. So this is why sometimes we just sit back and just wait to see how much they'll build up on it, and then we'll come and say, "No, you're wrong. This is what smokes look like." Same thing with the 9. Mr. Jamie thought the 9 was black. 9s are black, but they have an interesting code to them that when you turn to the side, they turn black. But in the front, it has a kind of goldish kind of look to the screen. He didn't know that because we didn't display it. We didn't show it. So we let them go on their own form of I guess I can't call it intelligence. I don't know what to call it. All right, so in the video right here, this is the screen he's displaying. This is supposed to be a smoke. Now, if you look at the image, there's supposed to be a flower here. I don't know what's going on there, but this is completely faded out. So I don't know what's going on with that. Keep in mind, a smoke can lean into we can put a smoke in a window and produce an image right through it, through a window. These screens are designed to take it. I'm going to look at his environment, and I'll show you the environment that the smoke was sitting into. Nothing but window light pouring in at 1,000 lumens. The screen pulls an image. So this is what I'm going to show you right here. So he's showing up the lighting in the environment, and I just find it hilarious. Usually I don't feed into this, but I find it's completely hilarious. So this is supposed to be smoke. Now, this is the part I understand. Why would you stick an object behind the back of the screen? That doesn't make a difference. So what he's saying is when we had it against the wall, this is why the image was pulling up. What he doesn't realize that when the screen was attached to the wall, there's actually a 2-inch gap between the screen and the wall that actually allowed the screen to fluctuate light back and forth. So he's saying this is the only way the image could pull up is it has to be leaning against the wall. It's a front and rear technology. And that's not ambient light. This is not an ambient light environment. So this is the image. This is supposed to be smoke technology. So this is all he shows. Then he shows you how it's supposed to be made, which I don't understand how that even works. Now, let me show you right here. This is how smokes are supposed to react. He had no color that pulled up, no angle gain, nothing. The picture was completely washed out. And that is really bad. Sometimes people consider that to be an acceptable picture due to the fact that the image is notable. You can see the picture, it's considered to be, I don't know, noticeable or whatever. I don't know what they call it. So let me show you the difference between our technology and how smokes are supposed to react. We'll go over into our videos and we'll pull up a demonstration on a smoke. Which I like that name too. We're going to keep the name smoke. So I'll show you up front. I'm grabbing this video. There are tons of videos here. So okay, these are smokes. So this is a smoke right here. This is the environment smoke sits in. Let me show you. We'll blow this up so you can see it. Now I want you to look at that image that's coming off of a smoke compared to the image he showed you that's supposed to be a smoke. Now look at the environment. As you can see, there's window light coming in. Room is tons of light. There's no window. As you see in his demonstration, the windows were far away. This whole entire bar is laminated with smoke. I'm sorry, laminated smoke. Laminated with light. So let me show you this. Now that's a smoke. A smoke can pull an image crystal clear. No faded, washed out nonsense or whatever that mess he had put up. These are how smokes react. The window. It's at a 10% screen that's only at 10%. So, Mr. Partey, stay in your own lane. You're not on my level when it comes to this kind of technology. This is how a smoke reacts. You see the color on that screen? Everything pulls up on that screen. There's no faded image. Look at the environment. There's sunlight pouring into my environment, and that screen is still pulling an image. This is what I mean by people who do those fake ambient light rejection demonstrations. That demonstration you just showed is nowhere on any way close to what we design over here. Stay in your own lane. Stay in your backyard. See all the light that's pushing in? So that's the difference between our technology. So that sunlight pushing in, and that screen is still pulling an image. Now, how much light did he have pushing in his image, in its environment? And keep in mind, you see that projector right there? That's a 1500 lumen projector. A 1500 lumen projector that sits 10 feet back, and it's nailing that screen in a sunlight environment, and it's still pulling an image. That's the Panasonic right there, 1500 lumen projector. So that projector at 1500 lumens is pushing through direct sunlight in that environment, making contact with that screen, and that screen pulls an image. Show you how much light we have here going on. And on top of it, look how close the screen actually sits physically to the window. Now, I'm going to show you something here. We'll pop out of here. I'll show you, and this is live. We did this demonstration live. This is the other transparent screen, the 9 right here. Let me see, here we go. We did it again on 1000 lumens. Now this is a projector of only 1000 lumens that we're broadcasting on. This is my Sony, Sony VPL X1000 at only 1000 lumens. It's making contact with that screen with all that light hitting that screen. And once you see all those deep blues that are pushing up on that screen, so those deep blues, no faded image, what you just showed, which you couldn't even make it out. He had to stick an object behind it in order to get the image to pull up because the image was so faded on the projector he was hitting. And then he's showing all the windows he has in his environment. Dude, my environments are so well lit. My bathroom has more light than your living room. So when I mean my house is well lit, it is well lit. And keep in mind, we do these demonstrations outside. But this is at 1,000 lumens projector that's pushing through sunlight. By the time it makes contact with that screen, it is no longer 1,000 lumens. It is way less than that. All right. Let's go in and show you. And this is bare minimum. We do bare minimum on that one. Let's show you something even more impressive about the smoke. We'll show you another demonstration we have here. Here we go. This is the smoke sitting in a window. So that's the smoke. That's the screen laying against the window. Outside, projector's pushing an image and it's laying against a piece of glass. Not away from the window, actually sitting in the window. Look how far my projector sits back. For a minute, let me go over here and blow this up so you can see this. So you can see it right there. There it is, right there hitting the window. And if you turn around, booyah, right there, my friend. I don't know where in the world they get these ideas from. I really don't. Where to get these ideas from. These poorly lit, ambient light, tippy-toe environments. They don't do anything on our level whatsoever, but yet they're the biggest. And I guess every time we lift the bar, they got to figure a way how to get to that bar, but they'll use all shortcuts to do it. We don't do shortcuts over here. We actually push our screens to the next level. So if the company were to take my product down to a test facility, it would pass with no problem. If they take yours down, it would fail miserably. I guarantee it, because I can tell by your demonstrations, your environments are designed basically to keep as much ambient light away from the screen as possible. We're about to do a demonstration on the very same demonstration I'm doing right now, which is kind of weird. We're actually doing this demonstration. So let me show you something, my friend, so you can see how technology actually works. Because that image you just showed, that was the most washed out image I have ever seen. That was completely washed out. Let me show you something here. I'm going to power up my projector. And keep in mind, I can take smokes outside at 10% and pull an image at 1,000 lumens. We'll do that demonstration today if it doesn't rain. I don't know what in the world that was that you had on display there. That's not smoke technology. On top of that, smokes are kind of blue. They're not gray. So I want you to look at this again as he's showing off this screen. That's supposed to be our technology. It's supposed to be our smoke. Now you just saw my environment. You've seen how much ambient light we had pushing in. I mute. I never play anybody's voice, so I do mute. This is supposed to be a smoke. Now, as you notice, as he's doing this demonstration, I'm going to show you something really quick. There's this projector hitting the screen right here. I want to show you something. See the window right here behind it? There's a window behind the screen right there that's blocked out. How come that window's not open? There should be light pushing through that window. Any window that you have in your environment, all windows should be exposed. There should be light pushing through this entire environment. Why is this window closed? Every last one of these are open. You know why? Because if any light were to push through the back of that screen would automatically fade. Now, when we displayed the smoke, we had a wall there. Of course, yes. But when I took that screen and I stuck it in a window and pushed an image through it, that's light pushing in and out. We got light inside the house that's pushing out one way, and outside light is pushing it another way. And then the screen is still producing a beautiful image outside through the glass. Now, if we can have light filtered through our screen, how come this window back here is blocked? This window should be open. There should be light filtering through the screen right here. As you can see, I can pick apart an environment really quick. Hate to do this, my friend, but kind of brought this on yourself. So see right here, this should be open. There should be more light here. Let's go over here and see these windows. Look how dark the windows are. You see how much ambient light that I have pushing through my environment? I have sunlight pushing through my environment. All this is well lit. All this is dark. Look at your floors. This is stuff I can see. I see shadows in the environment. It shows there's not enough light pushing through the environment. All these areas that are dark, this is not a good sign. And this is supposed to be, in order for you to pull up an image on a smoke, this is supposed to be our technology right here. See how faded this looks right here? This window should be open right there. Honestly, it should be open. Look at the image from the back. I don't know what you think that's supposed to be, my friend. That is not smoke technology. Look how faded the flower looks, the rose. Look at the angle, oh, wow, that's bad. Now he's got to take that piece of board right there. He's going to have to stick that into the back of the screen in order to try to pull up a proper image. Smokes are transparent, which means there should not be anything sitting behind the back of the screen. Now when we tape that screen against the wall, it's actually taped. We'll do another demonstration. I'll show you how the screen is taped up. It's actually a 2-inch gap between the wall, about that much. It's designed to filter light. That's why we stuck it in the window. You can see the difference. Even with the board behind it, the image comes up a little better, but it's still too dark. That's not ambient light. This. This is ambient light, my friend. That's the difference between your environment and my environment. See the difference in the environments? So that sunlight pushing through that screen, that's the difference between my environment and your environment. So that sunlight partay, this is how it's done. This is how you do an ambient light projection demonstration. All windows must be physically open. You see how light my curtains are? See how light they are? You can actually sit here and I can take a camera and you can watch images on the opposite side of my curtains, because my curtains are designed to push light through the environment. You can see houses and cars and all that stuff right through those windows. But I want to show you how much light is piercing through. See how well lit the area is? That's how you test your technology. If I stick your screen in my environment, it's going to wash out. And you see that projector? That's a Panasonic. That's my black Panasonic. 1,500 lumens. That's it, with that much light hitting the environment. See that ray of sunlight right there? All that light pushing in? Look at that screen. Look at the color. The blue, the greens, the pink. See how beautiful the reds are? 1,500 lumens. Look at that light pushing onto that screen. Now, like I said, they never mimic the demonstrations, the hard demonstrations that we do, like sticking a screen in a window. Oh, don't do that. No. That's too hard for them to do. If that screen struggled to be able to pull up an image in that environment, think about if he sticks it in a window. But we did that one already. We actually stuck the screen in the window. As a matter of fact, I'll do one today for you. I'll stick it in the window so you can see exactly how it's done. That's the screen sitting in my window. When I go outside, there it is right there. Now, let me show you something right here. Let's go switch over here real quick. As before, they want to claim, as I said, the only way they can get around to explaining to themselves that, oh, there's no way in the world black screen is going to pull a contrast level like that. That is virtually impossible. They're black. I painted the screen. As a matter of fact, I did this one live and I did the one in the other room. I did them both live. Now, as you can see, it's a black screen. If I stand in front of my projector, if I block my projector, you all know the color black and what it looks like. That's a black screen. You just can't accept that we have figured out how to make a screen that's black, push a white image. We can't get around that one. So I'm sorry you got to struggle with that, Sunshine, but that's the way it goes. Let me see where the control is at too. I have a really hard time trying to find control. Oh, there we go. Actually, the control is literally sitting where it needs to sit at. It's actually there. Okay, let's go over here real quick. Come on. All right, so let's go up to the top right here. No, we don't need to be there. We need to be there. Let's go over to, we'll clear this real quick, just clear. I usually don't do streams this early, but tomorrow is going to be an insane day for me. We have a lot of orders to ship out tomorrow, so I got to be traveling quite a bit here and there, so I might not get a chance to do too much. I will be doing that demonstration on the other hand on the window. We will be doing that one. We have to do that one. So let me come up here and just pull up the particular one that he had. Let me see if we can find that one. It's funny, when you want a demonstration, you can find it. I mean, no, you can't find it, and when you don't need it, you can find it. Here we go. This one with the horse. And you can see my screen's black. I'm watching TV for the environment. You know, it doesn't make a difference. This is the part they can't understand. It baffles them the most. All right, so first let's pause it there, and let's show you the smoke. Now, these are smokes. This is the weird, odd, strange color smokes have. All right. Hello, how you doing? That's me on the other hand. All right, when we open them up, it's the technology at 10%. Trying to get the tape off of it. That's a smoke. So Partey, I want you to look at that very carefully so you know what you're talking about. This happens when you drop a smoke in front of a projector. See how crystal clear they come out? But smokes are transparent. They can pull an image from front to back, which I shouldn't have my stand here. They can pull an image from front to back very easily. It's knocked over something. Now they're designed to be used with ultra short throw projectors. I'll tell you why. Because with an ultra short throw projector, it cuts down on the mirror effect. Now the bright glare. Now we have screens that we developed that are jet black, and they have the ability to be able to produce an image. You can't see any lamp glare on the other end. The smokes are developed a little bit different. So in order to actually use one of these, hold on for a minute. Let me get things down here to an eye level where you can see them a little better. Because where I'm standing at, I got to keep bringing you down. I don't want to do that. Let's bring you down a little lower. There we go. Got this stand all the way down. That way you can get a better idea from here. Right now we got you down to eye level. That's a little better. All right, now let's start our demonstration here. So you can sit on the back and you can see how our screen, hopefully I can get this thing to lock a little better. Okay, there's the flower right there. That's where I want to stop. Give me about a minute. I want to go back there just for a minute. It's really hard to do since we don't have the, I want to stop right there. We have the flower. About a split second run there. Oh God, do I have you in front of the projector? Oh my goodness, sorry about that. I do apologize, people. My bad. I do apologize for that one. Well, what is wet on my floor? Oh, spilled water on my floor. Mother chicken. All right, sorry about that. Let's see if we can get you. All right, we'll pause right there. There we go. We got it at the flower. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, now let me see if I can get you there. All right, there we go. That's better. Now, you see the angle on that? The smoke is supposed to pull an angle regardless of where that screen sits. It has to pull an angle. It should not come up faded. It shouldn't come up washed up. And this is the back end of the screen. Now, the front of it, which I have tape on it, which I don't know why. Oh, the tape I just pulled off the screen. That's what the front of a smoke looks like. See the difference? If I pull my camera to the side, that screen is supposed to pull up regardless from every freaking angle it's supposed to pull up. Freaking angle. Now, as you've seen in his demonstration, he had to stick a piece of cardboard or wherever it was behind it. That's because the image when he was showing it was not pulling up. It was faded because light in the environment was washing up the screen. So he had to put an image behind it, so it's kind of a solid surface behind it to get the image to show up. The smoke is going to show the same image from the front to the back, the same way. But to have a little fun with you, what I'm going to do is, I have a picnic table out back. Actually, kind of a, let me lay this flat real quick. I have a table out back. We're going to do something pretty fun here with the smoke. So you lay them down, how they look. It's transparent because you can see the wood right through the grain. But I'm going to show you something interesting. Now this is a screen at 10%. So you can see again what they look like. So my friend, no, you are so far off, it's not even funny. But I'm going to show you something really interesting. We're going to take a smoke and we're going to my patio downstairs. We're going to put it on the deck and we're going to set it up outside. We're going to build a nice little frame for it. We're going to put it outside, stand it up, and we're going to push an image through my house and outside. We're going to have the projector sitting on my table in my kitchen. We're going to actually punch light through that environment. It's going to travel through that environment. It's going to hit that patio window. And it's going to push an image and hit that screen outside, sitting on my patio table outside. You're going to watch a projector punch through and travel through my house and hit that screen outside and pull an image outside. Keep in mind, we've done these demonstrations before, so we know how the screen's going to react. Again, controller. Never found my controllers down here. But I love when people say, oh, no, that's how smokes. I know how to figure out how to make a smoke. Yeah, okay, whatever. Knock yourself out, my friend. And keep in mind, they have tested the smoke. Actually, they've tested all my screens. They've already tested smokes already. They got just about everything we have over there now. Oh, I haven't seen this one. So no, that's not nowhere close, not even in the ballpark. Not even in the ballpark. Like I said, the environment, that's why I said, when they do those environments, I don't know why they go for those. They have a little bit of lighting that comes in and they consider that to be an ambient light environment. It's not ambient light. You have to put it in an environment that no one else is going to stick a screen in. That's what it has to sit into. You know, to put it in an environment that, how many people are going to have their screen sitting outside? I thought it was raining. How many people are going to have their screen sitting outside? Well, come on, I want this demonstration. Here we go. How many people are going to have their screens sitting outside, watching TV or whatever? That's just why when we test our screens, we do only demonstrations outside. The ambient light rejection tests are done outside. Because if a screen can pull an image outside, inside is a cakewalk. And as you've seen in his demonstration, as this is supposed to be our smoke technology, the screen was barely pulling up an image on a rose. It was faded next to a rose. We did this demonstration in my environment with tons of sunlight, windows open up, the entire environment was illuminated with ambient light from the sun, and we did this at 1,000 lumens, 1,500 lumens, and 4,300 lumens. We also did the demonstration with the screen taped in a window. But yet you're fighting with ambient light in an environment that my screen would tap dance in. No, not even close. Good try though, good effort. Pat yourself on the back for that one, but no, not even close. I'm sorry. I love how people they think they got our technology figured out. Oh man, if you only knew what it takes to make this stuff, it's not easy. You think it's just, and mind you, I've done this demonstration with gray screen paints. I did a demonstration where I basically made a bunch of gray screen paints. We did it with silver, we did it with the Metallica sparkles, we did it with different forms of gray paints, and we just made 3 different versions. And then I basically just showed you how these screens would fail you on so many levels, different forms of projectors, ultra short throw, whatever we threw at it. Then I turn around, I take my paint, and I just paint it down the side of the screen. Not the whole entire screen, just splatter down the side of the screen to show you, look, this is what you're losing from your screen. And not only show you the contrast that you're losing, but turn around and show you bright, beautiful, vivid, tropical fish and show you, look, my screen can blend into their screen, even though my screen is three shades lighter than their technology. Or that's not technology, it's just house paint. So pretty much what you're buying is just over glorified house paint. Because that's what it is. It's just a gray and black. And the only reason I put black, and the black just adds tone to it. That's it. But they want to label the Supreme 8 as a gray screen. You can't label as a gray screen because the screen is black. It's a black technology screen. They said, well, it doesn't look black like all the other blacks, and that does not make it black. Well, here's the thing. If you know anything about art, anything about different colors, black does not come in just black. There are multiple shades of black. Here's some homework for you two guys, Crow and Partey. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's and try to order black paint. The first thing they're going to ask you is, what shade would you like? We have multiple shades of black. That's what they're going to ask you, because black comes in multiple shades. Just like if you get blue and you go to Home Depot, there's multiple shades of blue. There's even multiple shades of white. You got colonial white, eggshell white. There's so many different versions of white. Vanilla white, there's a whole bunch of them. You just can't just get white. There's different versions of white. So same thing with sky blue. There's different versions of sky blue. So it's a black, but it's a different coating of black. And that's the part that baffles them. They can't figure that part out. So the best thing they can do is label it under gray. Because they can't understand how a black screen is pulling a white level such like that. Oh, man. But I'm not here to entertain you anymore. That's done. As I said before, we are now officially signed. So, ta-da. Couldn't care less about your little reviews and whatever you do and nonsense. Don't care. Really don't care. It doesn't affect us in any way, because at the end of the day, I will still get 100,000 in gallons per order for my technology. I will still have contracts at schools and museums and whatever place that contract lands me at. I will still have that at the end of the day. Doesn't make a difference. But you can watch me grow. You can. Because like I said, I put my effort in, I put my time in, I put my hard work in. My demonstrations can back up exactly what my technology says. And like I said, I got customers who have my product. I don't have to really prove anything. I do all my demonstrations live. I love doing my demonstrations live. As a matter of fact, I finally found a sweet spot in the freaking basement that I can record that doesn't come out making me sound like a transformer, which is actually fantastic. What is this one right here? OLED. See, these are the dark demonstrations I was looking for. I'm hunting for these dark demonstrations to do and can't find any of them. And here's, which one was this one? This one right here was another one. Now see the skin tones? This is the part they don't understand. How's a black screen pulling? Skin tones like this. Mind you, Crow went on forever for protesting about black screens, that they were too dirty and too dark, and it can't pull up proper skin tones. That's why I said he kind of shot himself in the foot, because now if he ever wanted to go back and try to develop a black screen paint or even a dark gray, you can't do it, because the bottom line is you typecast yourself for saying that, you know, dark screens are just dirty screens, you shouldn't buy them, blah, 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 blah. But if you come out with a dark screen paint or even a close to a black or gunmetal screen, you're kind of now become the hypocrite of your own product. So you kind of shot yourself in the foot. Instead of being open-minded about it and accepting it, you went against it. And by going against it, if you ever decided to go down that road and develop any screen that's going to be darker than your personal mix, you have already stepped into the realm of black technology. Gunmetal screens are in the realm of a dark technology. A dark gray screen is in the realm of dark technology. If you look at the Dark Star 9, which is a very dark screen made by Elite Screens. It's not black. It's a very dark gray. It's considered in the realm of dark technology. And I'll tell you why. Because if you look at a white screen by Elite Screens, that's the cheapest screen you can get is a white screen. All right? That screen, like I said, you got one, probably for 100-inch, maybe $200-300 because it has the Elite logo on it. You're going to pay for that. If you get an unnamed brand one, about $100, $50 to $100. Now, those screens are low entry level. Then you start going into your silvers and your gray screens, the light gray silvers and grays, the cinema gray 5D, and so forth. Those screens right there will cost you anywhere from $900 to $1,200, maybe $1,300 for a 100-inch. Now, when you start tipping over into screens that are in the realm of dark gray, as in gunmetal screens, those screens would cost you $4 and $5 grand, much as the Black Diamond, much as the Dark Star 9, as that Paxson's, whatever Daylight makes that 8.0 a screen they have. Then you start dipping at those screens within that category are considered to be dark and considered in the realm of black technology. They're not technically black, but they're still considered in that category. What Mr. Crow doesn't understand, he really needs to educate himself, is that before black technology came out, the darkest screens that came out were actually a Gray Wolf was one of them, and the other one was actually Black Diamond. Black Diamond screens are gunmetal, which means it's like a mixture of kind of like a bluish kind of black material. That screen is considered to be black in the world of projection. Any screen that's considered to be a very dark gray is categorized as a black screen. But when black technology came out, a screen that's actually black, now that screen is categorized as a black screen, and the other screens are considered to be just a bit of a dark screen, but they still fit in the same category as being in the realm of black technology. You got to do your homework, my man. I do a lot of research. So this is how I know all this stuff. Can't just go up there and show a pretty screen in a dark environment with a high power projector and go, voila, look at the resolution. You got to explain to people why and where these screens fit at in the home theater projection field. This is why I can go into forum sites and have educational conversations with individuals who are in this field, because I know this, because I study and I do my research. Why does it react this way? This is why you have to do your homework. Can't just go up there and tippy-toe everything. So, as I said before, the fact that he's going to have to sooner or later, and I'm telling you, mark my words, bar none, he's going to have to sooner or later drop those light gray screen paints, and he's going to have to develop a dark screen. He doesn't really have much of a choice. But he'll never label it as a black screen. He'll say it's a dark gray. Now, anybody else in the field of home theater that knows what they're talking about is laughing at him, because they know that dark gray screens are considered to be black screens in home theater. They're not black, but technically they fall within that category. They're not in the category of a light gray screen, because there's two different entities when it comes to a light gray screen and a dark gray screen. They fall in the category of black. So technically, when you sent over that container with your name attached to it, which I'm going to basically build a stand for it, my home theater room, and I'm going to use that. That's my trophy right there. I'm going to use that as my trophy stand, because that is a black screen with your name attached to it, on a very dark gray screen. Which means that I'm going to call that hypocrite paint. The reason why it's got the name hypocrite paint, because I wouldn't have put my name on something I don't support. That's like me preaching, and here I am preaching to you why we don't support gray screens. That's like me coming around and designing a light gray silver screen and putting my name on it. I'm not putting my name on that. I don't support it. Even when we did we developed the, for anybody who wants to go back and say, well, you know, you guys did that Metallica, that black Metallica screen. Yeah, we did a dark gray screen, but I told you in the video, and we developed it. I don't like it. If you notice, none of my screens in my environment changed over to gray. Every last one of them stayed black. I'm putting that up on my wall. I know what that screen looks like. So that's the whole thing. When we did because people kept asking for, oh, why don't you do a dark gray screen? Or I said, you know, you want a dark gray screen? We'll make a dark gray screen. So we made a screen called, I think it was called Titanium Black. It was a dark gray screen. And we did side-by-side demonstrations. When people saw the side-by-side demonstrations of the black screen next to the dark gray screen, they didn't even want the dark gray screen. It didn't even sell that well. That's why we got rid of it. It didn't sell. Everybody wanted the black screen. They want that dark contrast, want the color pop. That's what they wanted. So we pulled it. And I just sat there and said on the video, I'm not painting this in anywhere in my house. None of my screens will ever get graced by gray screen. And all my screens in my house are black. We knew that stuff wasn't going to work well. not next to a black screen, especially a black screen's pulling a high white level and it can blend into a gray screen. What's my favorite projector? Sony! I love Sony projectors, man. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love Sony projectors. If I could, I would have every projector in my house a Sony. And I'll tell you why. My favorite projector was ViewSonic. Because ViewSonic had the 235.1 on it. I think it's the only projector that had 235.1. Now, keep in mind, a 235.1 projector is extremely expensive. We're not talking about $3,000 and $4,000 here. We're talking about somewhere in the range of where Sony has their projectors at 10 grand and up. But in order for you to get that anamorphic or panorama lens, you would have to get an adapter. Some people get the adapter, but the adapter is going to cost you an easy, maybe $1,200, $1,300 just for an adapter that may and may not fit over your projector, right? So if you want 235.1, you're just going to have to spend the money for a high venue projector that may and may not have it. But ViewSonic came out with a projector that had a 235.1 option in the ratio settings, which to this day, I will never understand why they didn't tell anybody about this, why they didn't advertise this. Any projector under PJD, that model number, automatically has a 235.1 option in it. Now, I bought a couple of them. I bought a few, I bought the 4K, the PX747. I bought a widescreen one. It was WXGA, which is a 4,000 widescreen version of the projector. And then I went out and I bought the cheapest projector they had on the market, which I had here, but I actually gave it away to a friend. It was a PJD 5155. That projector had a 600 by 800 res. Hear me out. 600 by 800 resolution. That was an SVGA. Anybody knows an SVGA projector is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to getting projectors and name brands. But that projector had a 235.1 in the ratio option, which means that projector was sporting an anamorphic lens, which is unheard of. And guess how much the price tag for that projector was? If you bought it brand new, $339. If you got it used on eBay, $100, $150 to $100 to $150. That's it. They get 235.1. So if you go to Projector Central and you look at the specifications, it doesn't say anything in there about a 235.1 capability on that projector. Nowhere does it say it. You have to figure that on your own. Now, I found out about it because I bought the ViewSonic because at the time, the house I was living in, I had a 200-inch screen. I didn't have a lot of room, so I needed a short throw. And I went with the ViewSonic because it was a cheaper price. I paid about $550 for it. So when it got here, I'm going through my ratio selection, and I'm looking for 16:9, and I see a 235.1 pop up, and I'm downstairs screaming, 235, 235. And my wife/girlfriend, was soon to be wife, comes downstairs and goes, what the frick are you screaming at? I was like, there's a freaking 235 in the projector. How's that even possible? It's like $550. Who puts a 235 in a $500 projector? And sure enough, that's when you notice that all my projectors started switching over to that ViewSonic, because now I can build a 178-inch 235.1 if I want. I can do it at 16:9, 16:10, or they had anamorphic and panorama in the projector setting, which is insane. The guy right now who has one of our wallpaper screens, that wallpaper screen has the capability of doing a 235.1 setting. That's why the screen, instead of being 4 feet by 7 feet, they're cut 4 feet by 8 feet to allow you to do 235.1. His projector has a 235.1 option, so he can display that in there. Now, keep in mind, I went out and bought the Optima GT 5600. We have that in the room over there. I like the Optimas, I really do. Oh, this ultra short, those are freaking amazing. But the one I had, it was a 1080p projector, right? At 3600 lumens at 20,000 to 1 contrast. When I bought the Sony projector that I had downstairs, that's a 720p. It put the freaking Optima to shame. A 720p Sony puts just about any 1080p projector to shame. That's why Sony's cost a little bit more than just about everything else. Unless you start getting into JVC, then you're really talking about some serious money here. Ronco, JVC, I think the other one is Barcode, if I'm saying that correctly. Those are the high expensive, like $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 projectors. But freaking Sony projectors, their colors on their projectors are freaking out of this world. So that's why when I sat there and said on camera, because I bought the 2 projectors I bought a Sony VPL FH30, which I had 2 of those. BenQ, I like BenQ. I freaking love BenQ. Yeah, I love BenQ. I had a few BenQs here. I had a few, and I plan to buy a couple more BenQs. Actually, BenQ has a 4K. I'm actually picking up. So this summer, I'm going on a 4K shopping spree. I'm buying 5 4K projectors. One of them is actually made by Optima. Now, Optima has one I do want. I do want. There's a Sony I do want, but I'm not spending 30K for a freaking projector. Not even 15K for a projector. That's too much money. I'm not going there. But I do know that Optima has one that is 7,000 lumens. It is 4K and it is laser. It's somewhere in the range of probably $3,000 or $4,000. I think it's $3,000 for that projector. So that's one of the ones I'm picking up. BenQ has a 4K. I do plan to pick up. I don't have a 4K BenQ. I want a 4K Sony. I definitely want a 4K Sony. Yeah, I need four of them. I need them. I need them for a certain reason why I need those projectors. I need a 4Ks for a certain reason. Because we're doing, this year, we're going to do outdoor inflatable projection screens. So I have to have those particular high venue projectors because someone was saying it was 7,000 lumens, 8,000 lumens is a lot of power. But you got to consider the fact that whoever I'm catering to, I have to have the same projector they have within their category. So we do know these screens don't hotspot at 43. But say most people that are using inflatable screens or any kind of projection screen outside are using somewhere between 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. As I said before, the reason why you need such high lumens is due to the fact that if you're doing a demonstration outside, even on a cloudy day, there's more ambient light outside than there is inside your home. So when that projector fires off, you're not going to have 7,000 lumens. You're going to have way less than that. So you have to have enough lumens to spare and have enough lumens to spare and enough lumens to be able to produce a beautiful image off the screen. You're going to lose about 4 or 5,000 lumens before it actually makes contact with that screen at 7,000 lumens. That's a guarantee. It's going to happen. The minute that thing fires up, the lumen count's going to start to drop. The more time, the more the distance you have to get into the screen, the lumens are going to start to drop. By the time they make contact with the screen, depending on how far the projector is sitting back and depending on how much lumens you have to spare, that your screen's going to have to be to produce a high enough image. So consider the fact that if we have a screen sitting outside on 1,000 lumens and it's pulling up an image at around, I say around 6, about 4 to 5, about 5 o'clock, say 5 o'clock at 1,000 lumens at 12 feet back. And we can get that image to pull up on a black OLED demonstration at 1,000 lumens. That means that screen, a projector at 1,000 lumens, by the time it makes contact with the screen, maybe at 2, maybe at 5, when it makes contact with the screen. So if that image pulls up, that lets us know on our end that we can hit that screen with 3,000 lumens, 4,000 lumens, 5,000. Hit that screen with a 7,000 lumen projector. I'm curious what that thing would look like in sunlight. That's why we want it, because we're curious to see what the screen can do. If I hit it with a good amount of shadow of sunlight, can we pull an image at 7,000 lumens? But that's the reason why they have high venue projectors like that. You go to a church and like, good gracious, like how many lumens is on that piece of furniture you have stuck to your ceiling? Like, oh yeah, that's like a 30,000 lumen projector. Reason why they have this because all that ambient light in the environment plus all the windows that a church has in, you're going to kill a great amount of your lumens before it makes contact with the screen. Only problem is the screen's just going to have to pull up a high enough gain for the image to come back. That's it. That's why I don't understand why these big companies do these demonstrations on these ambient light controlled environments, because all you're doing is cheating the screen. Stick the screen out in some really harsh environment and see exactly and do the demonstrations with the minimum amount of lumens you can get off a projector. Now come on, we all know if you go to one of those freaking shows, we all know no one's using 720p projectors. Come on. You go to a show booth, because I went to a show booth to check out a Black Diamond screen when Circuit City was Circuit City before it went out of business. And when I sat in that showroom, man, they had the best seats, they had lightings, they had freaking movie posters on the wall, everything there to make it look like a movie theater. It was gorgeous. They got the Black Diamond screen on display. And I'm looking, I'm thinking to myself, not about the screen, I'm curious about what kind of projector they're using in the background. How powerful is the projector using in the background? So I asked the guy, I was like, hey, what do you got sitting in the back? And he says, well, you know, it's a 4K projector, and it's this, that, and the other. It's like something like 5,000 lumens. So your 5,000 lumens are around 8 feet away from a screen. Good God, it's like overkill. You can hit a piece of notebook paper and still get an amazing image. Didn't make a difference. So that's what I'm thinking that maybe the projector's doing all the work, because think about it. If you look at the projector behind you, oh, go ahead, knock yourself out. What do you want to ask me? I love asking questions. I know I talk a lot, don't I? I do. Keep in mind, my last name is Bird. You do know what happens, like if you want to get a bird to go to sleep, they put a sheet over top the cage and the bird thinks it's nighttime, he goes to sleep. So I was at a party and I was talking and talking and chattering and talking. And my mom's like, good God, like, who is doing all this talking? Oh, that's Bird in the next room. And she runs over and puts a black sheet over top of my head, which is funny. 10% complete. 10% complete means the screen is only 10% done. So right now it's at its earlier stages. When we say a screen is 10%, that means it's only 10% done. It's not at 50%, it's not at 100%, it's only 10%. Because that screen has to go through some rigorous testing. We don't do demonstrations where I'm going to show you a dark environment and pull up a 4K projector. No. 10% done under testing, which means this is what I'm trying to explain. So usually when you see a demonstration of somebody showing up the screen, they'll show you the screen in a dark environment. We don't do things on that level. That means that screen has to be stuck outside, and we have a projector we sit out there, and we have a camera that records the time lapse. So what it does is we need to see when that screen pops at a certain time of the day. We'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll fire up the projector, and that screen will sit from 8 all the way until 6. That screen should not have a problem pulling up an image at 6 o'clock. So we have to see exactly how long does it take and how much light the screen can take in before it actually shows a physical picture. So that's how we know that the 8s can basically pull images at around 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, because when that projector was sitting out there recording, the image started to pop around 5 and 6, and that's how we know. So those tests have to be done. We have to coat the material on a surface. Just keep in mind, the 9 and 10 are not going to be screen paints. It's a coating that's designed to go on a physical projection screens that we're going to be designing. This year, we're going to have our own motorized projection screen, working on fixed frame screens, wallpaper screens bigger than 100 inches, 120 inch, 150 inch wallpaper, which I can't wait for that. And that coating is designed to actually enhance any surface, any screen we design. That's what 9 and 10s are designed for. But keep in mind, we have to coat this onto a piece of fabric. We have to fold it up. We have to soak them in water. We got to freeze them. We have to basically pull them apart. We need to see if the material is going to, if the chemical is going to crack, if it's going to peel, how it's going to deal in everyday environment. Thank God I got a backyard back there. I can just build a screen and just stick it out there. It can just stay out there for a year, so we can know exactly how much punishment the screen can take in. There's a whole lot of tests you have to do with the screen. Different forms of projectors. What's the lowest lumen mounted projector? We'll work with ultra short though. Hazard reactive laser projectors. All that has to be done. Because usually you have some screens out there that have something called a narrow viewing cone, which means you can't use it on an ultra short throw and you can't use it on a short throw projector. That's why they have a separate screen designed for ultra short throw projectors, because if you try to use one of their screens on ultra short throw, the minute you turn to the side, the screen may turn black. And we've seen that. That's why they call it a narrow viewing cone. That a screen would have to sit right in the center of your projector. If you move from here to here, the image becomes black as you move across. That screen is designed to sit right in the middle. So they're designed pretty much, if you're going to use it for dedicated theaters where all the seats are going to be sitting this way. If you have it in your home, which everybody's going to be sitting like this, anyone sitting on an angle, that image is going to come up black. So these are all these demonstrations that have to be done. That's why if you ask me a question like, hey, Ken, I want to see the Supreme 8 versus the Dark Star 9. Here's a demonstration. What about DNP Supernova? Here's a demonstration. What about outside? Here's a demonstration. What's the lowest amount of lumens I can use outside? We have one on 2,500 lumens. We have one on 1,100 lumens. Will the screen crack or peel if we have it outside? We got demonstrations of us freezing the screens, pulling them apart. If I fold the screen up, what's going to happen? It's going to crack or peel. That demonstration. Can I coat that on a motorized projection screen? Here you go. Did a motorized projection screen, up and down, up and down, up and down. Here you go. Demonstration of motorized projection screen outside. All those questions that everybody asks us, we have to have a demonstration for every last one of them. So, you know, people ask us, what about, now mind you, 4K, we've done 4K demonstrations. That's why we're bringing in these 4K projectors, 5 of the best 4Ks we can get our hands on. So someone says, hey, what's looking at this projector? There you go, there you go, there you go. We even did knockoffs. I had to buy a bunch of knockoffs, which I was kind of ticked off because I knew they weren't going to work. It was money I had to spend in my pocket. I didn't want to spend, but I had to do it for the demonstration. And we had to show you why knockoff projectors do not work on our screens, to show you why we don't support them. But yeah, that's why I say 10%. 10% means that bottom line is it has a buttload of testing to go through before we can actually put that finalized label on it, because the Ambilight Rejection 9s are nicknames. It's not the actual name of the screen. The actual name of the screen is sitting with a patent attorney. Now, I said I wasn't joking about this. Because of the contract we just signed, we have to basically, and not saying, but you have to do it in business. We have to protect ourselves. We're not dealing with Jamies and Partays. We're dealing with corporations that have the power to be able to reverse engineer your technology just like that. And and keep in mind, take you to court on something that you designed and made. Craziness, I'm saying. So you'd be really stupid to sign a contract and not have the technology patent and locked in. So that's why those names were all kept in secret. Everything was given code, so nobody knows exactly what the actual name of the screen is until we actually launch it. Then you know what it's called. By then, there'll be copyrights and all kinds of official paperwork to keep that screen locked in. Patent pending, patents. We even have a trademark secret. There's a trademark secret that's designed for 9 and 10s to allow them to be able to produce higher white levels. A special code. So all that's in there. Because like I said, when you're dealing with a company, even though everybody shake hands and they smile, we all go out to eat, it's business. And in business, in their field, it's pretty much just trying to get to the top, to be the best screen or this, that, and the other. So, yeah, you have to. I've made dumb mistakes in the past. I had a company under Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. Look it up. It was the first company we developed. And the biggest mistake I made under that company, I signed a 10-year contract overseas with a company, and they tried to slowly but surely take my company from me. So keep in mind, it was overseas, and they were saying, look, we got to give it a bit of a European brand, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, okay, sure, no problem. And they were basically changing and altering my logo to make it more appealing to their customer base over there. That's what they're saying. But they were slowly taking my company from me. And they were telling me that, look, this is what we want you to do. We want you to shut down your website, and we want to basically trickle you with a little bit of orders here and there. They weren't giving us jack. They weren't sending us orders. We weren't making any money. And they wanted us to shut down our site because they said there's going to be a conflict of interest, because if they're doing business with somebody and they're charging them a certain price, and that person sees the price on our website and they're thinking, all right, I can get it for cheaper. I just buy it from this guy. They felt that this was going to conflict with the contract, so they persuaded us to shut down our site, which we did, which was really stupid. We lost a ton of money. They made a ton of money off of us, and they told us that the sales, and they were working through it, a whole bunch of PR nonsense they were giving us, a bunch of blah, blah, blah. And I'm stuck in a 10-year global contract with these jokers. So you know what I did? This is how we got out of it. Now, I'm not saying I would do this to anybody else, but if you treat us fair, we'll treat you fair. You know what I mean? I don't understand how people can get greedy. I sat here and explained to this individual we signed this contract with, look, my friend, I'm the one who created this. Well, not God is the one who actually gave me the ability to create this. But you have to understand, why would you cheat the very person who developed your technology for you, thinking that this is all that they have? And that's what they were betting on. They were betting that that was the only product that I could design, and that was the best I could do. Big mistake. So what I did was I went and I developed a company under digital 4K Crystal Onyx. We started working on black technology in 2015. So we developed a screen paint that was completely jet black and could pull up an image. Now the reason why that became the B, and it's interesting, a lot of people want, Black Diamond had something to do with that. Because when the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint was developed, it was a light gray screen paint, much like the Personal Mix. It was exactly the same way. This was back 11 years ago. Now, when my friend June brings me over to this sample sheet and says, hey, you got to look at this. This is Black Diamond technology. I've seen Black Diamond. I've heard of them. I never saw one up close until I went to that booth. That was later on in time. I went to the booth. I got this punch sheet. I stick it against my screen. I put on a blue ocean. I watched the ocean come to life. I watched the contrast, the white levels. It was beautiful. It was like holding a TV image in your hand come to life in your hand. It was gorgeous. Never seen anything like it. But I found it interesting why they called it Black Diamond when the screen physically wasn't black. It was a dark gray, gunmetal. It still falls in the category of black. I didn't realize that. So Long story short, I'm on the hunt now to design a screen like Black Diamond. I want the same technology they have, but I want better. So now they started me on a freaking rampage of trying to develop, pushing my brain together to build a screen better or maybe equal to theirs. So they're the ones who sparked my imagination when I saw that technology. Now, mind you, while all this is going on, I'm still going through this crap with these jokers overseas with this contract. So we developed a company called Digital 4K Crystal Onyx. And Digital 4K Crystal Onyx was a screen that developed black technology. Now, to get out of the contract, what we did was we developed a whole new line of black screen paints that had nothing to do with the light screen paints, which means we had all our beta testers do side-by-side demonstrations of the black technology versus the old technology under Digital 1, which, bottom line, long story short, I obsoleted my own technology. So I wiped out an entire line of Digital 1 crystal screen paint products and replaced them with a more advanced that the beta testers do side by side to show why the dark screens are better. And because the new company, which I dropped the original website, I dropped the freaking domain name, I dropped the email address, I dropped everything and started a new company under Digital 1. And a whole entire company built from the ground up on this new technology we developed. So keep in mind, nobody wanted to buy that screen paint anymore overseas because of the fact they saw the new stuff. And they were arguing with us saying they had entitlement to that. No, you had entitlement under Digital 1 crystal screen paint, not under Digital 4K Crystal Onyx, which is a completely different screen. And eventually, they pulled their contract. That's how we got out of the contract. So that's how Digital 4K Crystal Onyx was developed. And back in 2015, we went side by side to a Black Diamond screen. I'll put the document and see yourself. And in 2015, we were contacted by SL Screens and an email saying that they found our technology to be with potential, that they were interested and they wanted us to come down to Dallas, Texas. Yeah, craziness. Yeah, but it didn't go as well as it did because the reason why we didn't develop for that particular individual is because I'll tell you why. At that particular time, that black screen we developed was only around 25% done, and they wanted us to come down to Dallas, Texas, which that's where their main base is located at, and we required an NDA. So NDA, for those you don't know, is a non-disclosure agreement, which means all parties that are in the conversation talking about this particular technology have to be signed to this piece of paper. If you talk about my technology to somebody else, or if I see something in your facility that I'm not supposed to see and I talk about it, you could sue me, I could sue you. Everybody keep your mouth shut. That's pretty much what it is. It's a keep your mouth shut piece of paper. So they refused to give us an NDA. So I'm like, you have a legal department. If a legal department, you can draw up an NDA within about a couple of minutes and just send it over to it. We'll sign it with no problem. They didn't want to give it to us. They wanted us to bring down a piece of technology to them without an NDA attached to them. And that's when we told them, no, we're not going to do it. And then that's what sparked off the conflict between us back and forth. And it pretty much, like I said, it takes two. It takes two to make a conflict. So I'm not saying they're just the bad guys too. I basically got a bit of an ego trip thinking, okay, I got this big corporation company and they're coming down to my technology, just that and the blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I got a bit arrogant. I did. I admit that, okay? And sometimes what you learn in business, sometimes don't let your ego get the better of you. Learn to stay humble. So I started contacting their company, telling them, I want all your screens now. I mean, I beat their top screen. I want all of them. So now I'm contacting them. And that's considered to be a bit of harassment. So I do admit I apologize on that behalf. It was a bit of harassment. I was kind of bugging them a bit, trying to get this. But they went about it by basically having a lawyer come after me. And the lawyer basically gave me a kind of cease and desist order. Now, keep in mind, in the demonstrations, in no way were we ever disrespecting their screen. We weren't saying the technology was trash. It can't be trash because I was fascinated by their technology, and that's what pushed me in a direction to develop the technology that I have now. So I can't call it trash because I was fascinated by it. I never said that. I just did side-by-side demonstrations. That's all. Never called their stuff garbage, never called it trash, nothing like that. Showed total respect to their stuff. But they just didn't like the fact that I got a product at that particular time was selling for around, I think, $400 a quart when they had a screen selling for $5,000. So they just didn't like it. So they basically sent me this piece of paper, and in this piece of paper, the attorney tells me that, okay, here's the bottom line. You're going to pull every last video demonstration that's connected with the screen, all pictures, everything. You got a certain amount of time. You don't do this, we take it to court, we'll sue you. So, of course, that's what I did. I removed everything, all the pictures. That's why you can't find anything with us side by side, all gone, everything. But I did keep backups. Now, I deleted, what was on the internet. Doesn't say I don't have backups sitting around on a hard drive somewhere. Oh, yeah. No problem, no problem. I'm going to put in the video description that document because they can't touch me now. Yeah, go to sleep, man. I'm wide awake. Actually, I'm going to be wide awake for a while. I'm going to go downstairs and get myself my secret ingredients. Do not try this. You won't sleep for many days. I lie to you not. You won't blink for many days. I'll tell you about a few minutes. But like I said, respect line there now. But that's why, that whole issue with them. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you secret ingredients. You want to stay awake? Okay, look. I had some people tell me, hey, Ken, get a real job. Stop doing this. Get a real job. They don't realize that I have a degree in IT tech. I also have a degree in culinary arts. I went to Paris and I studied to become a chef. Now, when we were taking our exams for bacteria and all different things, you have to learn about bacteria and stuff like that. There's a whole lot of crap that goes on when you learn to cook. You got to learn bacteria and all this stuff. What chemical reactions, how school react, different foods and stuff react to heat and stuff like that, and then you have to do different tests you have to do. I kept falling asleep. All right, so this is a trick how you stay awake. And I lie to you not, you'll be up on your roof with a lantern, swinging it back and forth and screaming, 4 o'clock and all is well. I lie to you not, you think I'm joking. Now, I love Lucky Charms. I think Lucky Charms is one of the most sweetest cereals they ever make on the entire planet. They even had a limited version of Lucky Charms that's all marshmallows. Oh my goodness, man. If you eat this up, I swear, your wife would have to stick a mirror in front of your mouth to see if you're still alive because your eyelids will not shut. You will sleep with your eyes open. Pretty freaky, but it happens. Anyway, you know that ice cold cappuccino that you get at Starbucks or pretty much any place? Put that in your Lucky Charms as a substitution for milk and see what happens. Now, if you want to push it a little farther than that, you can go to Amazon and you can buy dehydrated marshmallows, Lucky Charms marshmallows. A lot of you know, we did it already. You can buy them by 5 pounds of Lucky Charms marshmallows. Nothing but Lucky Charms marshmallows. Have ever been your fantasy to eat a bowl of nothing but dried marshmallows? You can do that, my friend. You go to Amazon, put up freaking Lucky Charm marshmallows, 5 pounds. I gotta look this up. And you will, I got it up here. You will find it on there, right? You take a bowl of that and you put nothing but marshmallows in there. You put in that ice cold espresso, you don't sleep anymore. That's the end of it. That is the end of it. You can watch all the relaxation videos you want. You don't sleep anymore. You're full zombie mode 24/7. That's a lot of sugar. You might even have some little heart problems here and there. Yeah, just go to Amazon and just put in dry 5 pounds of Lucky Pound marshmallows. We did it already. I actually have a video I actually did. I didn't do it here, but I did it on Facebook. I did a bowl of all freaking marshmallows. Now, I didn't put no cappuccino into it, but yeah, that cappuccino, you put that in there as a substitute for milk. Oh my goodness, man. That's the end of it. You will get up every morning without bending your knees. You know what it looks like, a person getting out of the bed without bending their knees? They just rise up, you just walk out. There's no yawning, there's none of that. It doesn't exist anymore. You just get up, you go out the door, that's it. That's it. Like, look at Bob. Bob is alert on Monday morning. Look how wide awake he is. It's like he never slept. And he never slept. I'm telling you. Keep in mind, people were doing anything because keep in mind, I mean, oh my goodness, man, like those of you in school, you know what I'm talking about, the studying, and you want to have a little free time in there, and then all this, you got to stay up late for the exams and everything, and people are just trying all kinds of crazy remedies to stay awake and keep their focus. They do the energy drinks, they do everything. I even had individuals doing the Freddy Krueger. Now, for those of you know what the Freddy Krueger is, you watch old horror movies from back in the day. Remember, they couldn't go to sleep because the minute you go to sleep, Mr. Freddy would pop up in your dreams and just torture you, right? There was one incident in the movie where the girl was actually eating tablespoons of freaking coffee and washing it down with a Pepsi.
I've done that one before at a job site. I was just so freaking tired. I was actually carrying Sanka packets on me of coffee samples, and I was downing them suckers while I was washing it down with a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi. Yep, you just do things and just try to stay awake. That's all. I mean, you would no longer blink anymore. You'll be sitting in church. You're like, I like this man right here. He's paying attention. You just can't shut your eyelids. That's all. That's the problem. All right. I'm gonna get out of here real quick. I got to be up, so now it's time for me to actually literally be up and start working. So hopefully we'll get. Oh man, so we got. I'm looking at security camera. I don't know if those bugs are. Here's my security cameras over there. I don't know if that's bugs or rain. I hope it doesn't rain because I do want to do that demonstration. But let me get on out of here so I can get these orders out the door. For those of you who want to know about the special promotion kit, it's still going on the website right now. So that is 1 gallon of the screen paint. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We got 1 gallon of the screen paint going for around 100, and I think it's $89 or somewhere around that price. It's under $200. It'll allow you to paint the screen sides of 100-inch to 180-inch. You can put one outside. Keep in mind, these screens are outside. You can take them outside. I got a few. Actually, I'm building a couple of projects for outside. I'll show you that this summer. The giant screens I'm actually putting for the back. Actually, 3 of them I'm actually building. All right, but we got bottom line is it comes with a gallon, which you can use it indoor, outdoor. You can design 2 screens, and it also comes with a blackout cloth surface. For those who are trying to figure out, keep in mind when you buy blackout cloth, when you start getting to be for larger screens, the price starts to jump. So you start going from $50, $60, even $70 for a piece of blackout cloth. We give you this for free. So you're getting a free 6x9 blackout cloth for free that comes with that kit. And for those of you who live in other countries and you're worried about shipping, shipping is free. We'll ship it to you anywhere in the world for free. You don't pay anything for shipping. If you require a signature confirmed, which means maybe you work late that night, you don't know if they're going to drop the package off, maybe somebody might not pick it up, you fear it's going to get stolen, you can request signature confirmed. We give that for free. So it's on the website right now. We're going to have it available for 2 weeks. We were going to do it for 1 week. We're going to do it for 2 weeks. We put 200 in the shopping cart. When the shopping cart depletes, the sale's going to be over, or when we hit 2 weeks, it's going to be over. So it's in the shopping cart right now. I have to go. Thank you all for your time. I had an amazing time with you all. Y'all have a blessed day, a blessed night, depending on where you're at in the world.